Hello, people of YouTube.
Morning.
I am American McGee.
I'm Martin.
And you don't have a last name. You know, you could rhyme and just say Martin B.
That's my rap name.
That is his rap name.
MB. Marty B.
Marty B.
Of the Get Fresh crew.
So we are coming to you today from Shanghai, China, where it is raining outside.
Yeah, it's gone a bit poop.
It has gone a bit poop, but it's spring rains, and so it's quite warm.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
and
not,
this is...
it's not chilly rain, which is good.
You know, when it's raining chilly, I don't mind so much if I've got chips and cheese.
But I don't think I've ever seen you eating chips and cheese.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not that bad outside. It is springtime in Shanghai. What was a black, bleak, leafless city is now going back to little buds of green popping out here and there. And so it's nice to see the seasons changing.
It is.
What do we got on for today?
The usual. We're going to look at some art. We're going to talk about what's going on with Out of the Woods.
Out of the Woods.
Pirate Jam.
Pirate Jam.
Alice.
And then we got to do some
patron comments.
Patreon comments.
All the chat comments over there, the scrolling past.
It's really confusing there.
Yeah, the usual.
The usual stuff. So,
yes.
Why don't we just get stuck right into it? We're going to go look at some artwork for Asylum. So, do we have anything important to announce right now? I don't think so. Can't think of anything. All right. Yeah, I had put this piece of art back in the folder because I think, as some of you have seen, there are a collection of images that are being turned into patches. These are embroidery patches, and the patches are going to get mailed out to all of our patrons. And so I think if you've seen those images, which I'll get to in a little while, you'll know that Jennifer Daw, who's doing a lot of the artwork for us on Asylum, she, I think, took inspiration from this balloon tree artwork to create one of the embroidery patches, and I was quite impressed with it. I thought it was pretty cool. So
it is a good patch.
It is a good patch, but we'll get to the patch in a little while.
Patch info.
Yeah. Why don't we look at this? So this is something that our good friend Alex Crowley has come up with by way of a logo for the Alice Asylum pitch document. Alex is now working on the Patreon Inmate Certificate, which we're going to send out to like 650 people, I think.
It's more than 555.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he's going to be finished with that, I think, probably today, at which point we will then take them off for printing, and we'll sign them, and we'll mail them all over the world. And then he's going to get to work on artifying, beautifying the pitch document that we're putting in front of EA for Alice Asylum. So what do you think about this here logo, Martin?
I like it. It's certainly the Alex style. I mean, we'd know that just by looking at it. But,
yes.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You know, Alice all in sort of like, it's written up there, isn't it? Bladed chrome lettering. So looking all kind of shiny, and you've got sort of like raggedy Asylum straitjacket stuff hanging off places.
Yep. And he's
It's
also
going to be ace.
He's also integrated the chaos symbol in the background here.
He has.
Which, of course, is going to be a major theme and element of the game, of the story. I think, you know, one of the logos we saw previously that Joey did, we had seen that she had put barbed wire around the lettering. And I think a lot of our viewers pointed out correctly that barbed wire would have been out of time, out of place for Alice and where she was in London at that time. So I thought it was a cool looking logo, and of course, you know, it speaks to us directly of the concept of imprisonment, of asylum, but obviously we don't want to do things that distort reality and cause the questions of time travel and whatnot. So this is definitely, I think, pretty good. And you know, anytime you've got fire flame, bloody guts, chrome, and brimstone, I think we could open up a Korean barbecue restaurant based on this theme.
I think we probably could.
Yeah, because if I went into a Korean barbecue restaurant, I would actually expect to see glowing
You got
brimstone,
the brimstone
chrome, guts, and then flames flying out above.
in that order.
In that order. It actually
Maybe
works
that's
out
what he
pretty
did.
well. Yeah.
He came up with this logo while he was out at some Korean barbecue place.
Anyway, I think the Korean barbecue Alice Asylum logo is right on. So there we go.
It shall be forever known now as the Korean barbecue logo.
It is the Korean barbecue logo. Yeah.
A bunch of people spotted your necklace earlier, saying they like it on you.
Yeah.
It looks tight, apparently.
It looks tight. It's not tight. It's quite comfortable and loose.
I think they mean tight, like Michael Jackson meant bad.
Oh, I see. So this is the small one, the miniature one. You have one there that's the larger one. Maybe you can hold up.
Let's unruffle this from all the crap on the desk. There we
Yeah.
go.
That's the big one. That's really, I thought was maybe for girls. You even said that you thought it was maybe for girls, and then we've had guys ordering it. So
what do we know?
I don't know. You know, you can order whatever you want to wear. We don't judge here. We do not judge. Right. So that's the logo. Looks like everybody in the comments likes the logo.
I didn't see any bad comments. Yeah.
Somebody says they see the Kingdom Hearts symbol in the middle. There's a heart there.
There is a heart there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kingdom's Heart, there was even elements that did sort of cross over into a Wonderland-y, Alice-y. It's hard to avoid if you're dealing with themes of hearts, for instance, and you have a Queen of Hearts in the Alice lore. So I think I remember even receiving some emails at one point where people had pointed out sections within Kingdom Hearts that somehow seemed to mimic or suggest or overlap with some of the stuff we'd done in the Alice games. And again, I think when you're dealing with a kind of fairy tale universe and there's a kind of lot of shared themes, you're going to run into that. So, yeah.
Did I just see a Rutledge Asylum mug?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you
maybe.
That'll be back in a second. So that was the logo stuff that Alex is working on. I brought this image back up because one of the things that we're going to have Alex do after he's finished with the PowerPoint is start to work on product presentation, prototype type images like you see here. This image was actually not done by Alex. This was done back at Spicy Horse when we were pitching Madness Returns, and one of the things that I was trying to impress upon EA was just how valuable the Alice franchise is for collectors. And so it was my hope that when the game was released, you wouldn't just go out and buy a disc and put it into your console, but you would actually get some sort of physical toy or bit of clothing, or anyway. You can see as we're doing the build-up to the Alice Asylum funding, the pitch, we're also starting work on a lot of physical items because I think that that's incredibly important to the franchise, to the audience. It's important to me. I love creating stuff like this that is connected to the universe and gives people a reason to want to go out and get all the pieces and put them together. So anyway, this is the kind of stuff we're going to have Alex working on shortly.
I do think collector's edition physical item boxes and stuff could look really good. Be ace.
Yeah, and then I think this is also something that we've been talking about as we've been exploring physical item production, say, for instance, for Pirate Jam. I didn't load up that image, but we're making coins for Pirate Jam as an example, and the coin manufacturer, we could send off any kinds of coins to him. So say, for instance, that as a part of the crowdfunding, we offered a collector edition Cheshire Cat coin. That kind of thing, again, just leads into the whole lore. Maybe we have those in the game as well. Not as a functional loot boxes or purchases or in-game purchases. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff out there that we can make, and I get really excited about that kind of stuff. I like making and playing with physical stuff. And so my point was, when it comes to, like, say, for instance, Patreon or our next Patreon goals, one of the things we've talked about is whether or not we should be giving ourselves access to, like, higher end 3D printing or any other types of manufacturing. And actually, I just don't know the answer to the question. We want to continue down the line of building physical things that help to promote the creation of the new game. I think one of the questions is what's the right path? Is it to get a 3D printer and start having the ability to create cast Cheshire Cats and Alice characters and things like that. Anyway, it's a question that maybe you guys can comment on in the comments.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Speaking of physical items, yeah, this was the chaos symbol placed onto a t-shirt, which is over at Mysterious.
What's the phrase mean?
So this is important to the theme of Asylum, the narrative theme that we're going to work into the game. And this is Latin, and it essentially translates to dissolve, which is the solve, and then reform, which is coagula. So your blood coagulates, right? So the word here, coagula, it means to reform. The concept being that, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, you must first dissolve a thing in order to reform it in a new form. And so if you think about life tragedies, we were talking recently about the concept of Jordan Peterson in his new book, discussing lobsters and their ability to, if they've lost a claw, for instance, they can then regrow that claw. As a result, people don't actually know how old lobsters can live to be, because it would appear that they may be immortal. Obviously, they can be eaten. They can succumb to disease, but assuming a lobster lives in a relatively safe from disease and predator type of place, they can lose stuff and then regrow it. But the really interesting point that he brought up in his recent book was that when a lobster encounters significant trauma, like the loss of a battle against a competitor, their brains actually melt. Inside their bodies, the brains melt, and then they regrow a new brain, and the new brain is in the form of the brain necessary to accept the new placement in the social hierarchy. But you also read that when people, for instance, suffer PTSD, something incredibly traumatic happens to them, their brains are flooded by similar chemicals, and those chemicals also, to some degree, damage and melt parts of your brain, and then hopefully you reform. And so anyway, this tries to capture that concept that in order to change, you must first dissolve. Now, I don't know if you need to go all the way to dissolving your brain, but, yeah.
Who here thought they'd be learning about lobsters today?
Go read the Jordan Peterson book. It's quite good. Or listen to it on audio. That's what we were doing on this last big sailing trip, because we'd have these 8-10 hour long passages between the islands and whatnot. And you could put him on and just listen to him all day. And he's got incredibly interesting stuff to say about human psychology, physiology, about our brain chemistry, about social hierarchies, about the state of the world as it is today. It's all really good stuff.
Somebody says, does Manson have this tattoo? That phrase?
He actually does, and it's also a phrase that is somewhat, in a way, connected to. If you go look it up, you'll find followers of Aleister Crowley, who was the main dude behind the Church of Satan. They also would latch on to phrases and concepts like this, because in Satanism there is a very high focus on personal responsibility and following through on your own will and not bending to the will of other people. And anyway, that's a whole philosophy we don't need to get into today. Not one that I necessarily subscribe to, though. Yeah, there are elements like this that can be found crossing over into that philosophy or that way of thinking.
Okay.
So, this is not satanic. I don't think Manson has this tattooed on him anywhere. So this is the Hysteria patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to get done up as a patch. When we say patches, I'll show you really quick. These are the patches that we did for Pirate Jam. Oops, I'm putting that over your face. It's very bad with orientation here. But anyway, that is a Pirate Jam embroidered patch, and we did a bunch of those up, obviously, for Pirate Jam. We're going to do this same thing for the Asylum, the Alice-inspired
goal.
So yeah, if you go over to Patreon and then you click to become a patron, you can actually get those patches mailed out to you when we hit our next goal, which is 1,000 patrons.
1,000 patrons.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be the patches, but then I thought that was cool enough.
It's such a good image.
Yeah, we actually stuck it on the T-shirts, and so if you go over to Mysterious, you can get that on the T-shirts over there.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I think should be a T-shirt as well.
This was an early patch concept.
It was.
Was it not? But
it was.
Didn't get there.
Yeah. Right, so this is also something everybody on Patreon has been waiting for. This is the Inmate Certificate, which was promised for when we hit 555 patrons.
Yep.
And so Alex has been working on this. We had a lot of comments over on Patreon with regards to this, so why don't we go and take a look at those comments. Derp. This was, I think, yesterday's update.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So yeah, Alex did up, first of all, very cool logo treatment, and this is the kind of thing that you guys, huh?
You have to look up there to see it.
So this is the kind of thing that you guys can expect to see being put into the PowerPoint presentation we're putting together for EA. Alex, like I said, is also going to be coming on board more or less full time now. He's quit his day job, and he's focusing all of his energies recently on Out of the Woods, but then he's going to be working exclusively on things for Alice Asylum as well going forward. So this is just an example of kind of the types of imagery. This may be iconography within the game. It may be UI interface type of stuff that we do in the concept phase. But anyway, he's hard at work on some interesting things like that. So he's done the Rutledge Asylum Inmate Certificate. What do you think, Martin?
I do like that. This is the type of thing I'm thinking about for the PowerPoint as well, for the Alice thing. But yeah, looking at it, it's like the ye olde paper sort of asylum inmate thing. It's great.
Right.
We asked, didn't we, about whether there should be a space for people's names or whether it should be numbered or something.
Yeah.
It was quite a varied, mixed bag of comments. There wasn't a clear winner.
So here's what I did. I read all the comments, and that's what we should be doing right now. But there were a bunch of comments here on Patreon regarding how to make that certificate work. And what I did was go through all this. What we're going to do is... There's a lot of comments. What's going on there?
I've noticed it does that.
Okay. What we're going to do is... So imagine this is going to be side A. This is going to be the front side of the certificate. Like we have a certificate here for... So that'll be the front side of the certificate. It's going to look pretty much as you see it looks right now, but I did ask him to make a couple changes. One of the changes was to remove my name from the certificate here, because I, as a person, American James McGee, do not live in the universe of our Alice. I am the creator. I'm not an occupant of her world. So I felt like that's a little bit off to have me named in this document. The warden would have been someone else. So this side is going to be, it's essentially supposed to be like a presentation of a historical document from Alice's universe. And as such, I want it to be kind of left clean, and she'll have her own patient number. I don't know what number that should be. That was something I asked him yesterday. Did Alice have a patient number in the original casebook? We need to go back and take a look. If the answer is yes, then we need to fill that in there. Anyway, so this will be changed a little bit. She'll get a patient number. My name will be removed. We'll probably put some sort of a faux signature of someone. But then when you flip the certificate over, the backside is going to be essentially identical to this, except it's going to be edge to edge. It's going to be that it's an entire inmate certificate in and of itself. It's going to have a patient number there. I will fill that in. I'll number them, from 1 all the way to how many ever patrons we have at the point where we print these things. The patient name, this part will be left blank so that you can fill in your own name or the name of a loved one that you want to have incarcerated within Rutledge. I think the date we will probably have filled in already, and then we could have some of this stuff already filled in, and then there'll be a space down here where I can sign. I will sign at each and every one of them, and then we'll send these things out. So at the end of the day, what it means is you'll get a patient certificate which you can write your own name into. Everything else will be filled out. I hope that's okay with everybody.
That seems to be what the comments suggested.
Yeah.
A lot of comments also seem to suggest, do what you like. I'm just happy to be getting a certificate.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. But at the same time, I mean, we do have to try to think these things through. And when we come up with these rewards, actually, Martin and I do sit there and kind of pull our hair out. That's why Martin doesn't have any hair.
I used to look like Samson 6 months ago.
Yeah, but then trying to come up with reward concepts that didn't have loopholes which caused consternation for us or the people who are engaged in the reward concepts, you tend to pull all of your hair out. So, yeah.
I'm being a little quiet tonight. He won't stop talking.
Go for it. I do try to leave space for Martin to talk.
Yeah, I'll talk more. Don't worry, I've not lost my voice or anything. I'm just waiting for the right moment to jump in. Yeah.
So, you want to say anything about the Inmate Certificate?
I thought patient number here would be like the number of the certificate. But that's going to be the same for every certificate. That's Alice's patient number.
Well, on the Alice historical document side, there will be a single number. It's Alice's number. When you flip it around to the other side, that will be left blank, and I will fill them in individually for all of the... I had to get on Skype with Alex yesterday to explain all this. Are you not, are you not understanding?
I get it.
Okay.
I just thought that it was fine to have a little space here, and the patient number would be where the certificate number went.
I'm very confused. I'm not sure I understand. I wonder if people in the chat understand what you're saying.
Who knows?
This is what you're looking at here on screen is the Inmate Certificate. We're going to call this the historical document side.
Yes.
Side A. It's got a patient number. This being a historical document, that would have been filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now we flip it over. What happens?
It's got the actual person's certificate number on, which will be numbered.
You mean patient number?
No, the patron.
But you mean that it'll say patient number.
No, it says patient number here on the front. All I'm saying is, on the front, this number will be the same on every single certificate. That's Alice's patient number.
Correct.
But on the back, there will be another number, which is the number of the certificate.
It's still going to have the text patient number on it, is it not?
Okay.
Is it or isn't it going to say patient number on the back side?
Possibly.
It's going to say patient number on the back side. Therefore, the patient number is going to start at 1 and it's going to end at whatever the number is for the total number of patrons who get these.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So we think we've got it.
We got there.
Right. All right. I'm really confused. I don't know. I've noticed that a lot of times when I get confused, I think I'm sometimes being a bit too literal, or people around me are not being literal enough. And so, yeah.
But you get there in the end.
I don't know, but it was a strange... we got stuck in a strange loop there. Anyway, let's go take a look at some comments.
Should we have a look at those patches?
Yeah.
As we scrolled past them?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they look ace.
Yeah, well... Tell people about the patches.
We put some posts up on our Facebook channels yesterday, and it got quite an amazing response. Our little patron amount jumped up a little bit overnight because of this, and you can see why. I mean, these patches look fantastic. So there is going to be a special 10th. Still not finished?
Oh, it's finished.
Is it?
You know, we got a super chat there.
Prince Hatter, thank you very much. Her patient number should be 541852 after her birthday. But if she had a real patient number...
It wouldn't be her birthday.
It wouldn't be her birthday. That would be an amazing coincidence.
Yeah, I think what we want to do here is we want to take a look at the original casebook and see if she perhaps had a patient number. Okay. If she didn't have a patient number in the casebook, then I think we're going to create one. I don't know that we're going to have it be her birthday. I think it's a kind of cute nod to the real Alice. Yeah, so let's see.
Check it out. Check the case book.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Very much so. And thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. I'm over here trying to pull up that other...
Right.
Because there is one, and it says Inmate on it. So the idea is the special, not yet seen...
You guys can't
patch.
See. Scrolling through an email list now.
Yeah, well, so the special not yet seen patch would actually be something that says Inmate on it. So that would be what you would get as a patron that no one else would get.
Okay.
So
yes, it'll be in like a little cellophane pack with cardboard back, and these 9 will be within the pack. And yes, there'll be a special 10th patch for the patrons who are supporting us as we hit the goal of 1,000 patrons.
And I'm trying to pull that up. She did Jennifer did a couple of variations on it. Here we go. I actually think that's probably a good thing for us to look at together, because I was struggling a bit as to which of these patches sort of worked the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're attempting to download that now.
Yeah, we will see.
With the shonky internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the comments for these patches, they really took off overnight. People also saying they wanted them made as pins and stickers, which is also something that no reason we can't do.
Yep.
If enough people think that would be ace, why not?
Yeah, I think doing enamel pins, like the Pell pins, things like that, could be quite cool. So we will look into that. Again, this goes back to my sense that we should be doing more stuff like that. Apparently that's failed and forbidden to download that image. I'm not sure why that is.
You, Gmail. What is that?
I don't know.
It's being weird about.
It's being angry. Okay. There it goes.
There we go.
There we go. So yeah, we'll do some enamel pins probably next. That'll be...
Pins, please.
Yeah.
Coloring book.
Okay, so I've just put that inmate image in there. This is gonna be made to go away, and then we're gonna do art review. Okay, there we go. So these are the images that Jennifer did that could be potential patches. That would be the 10th patch. And the idea was, when I talked to her, do something that looked a bit like a straitjacket or contained the name. And I think we kind of ended up leaning towards this one.
Right.
Though I'm not certain. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be the sort of beigey colour of it that kind of makes it seem a bit weird. I don't know. It's not grabbed me as much as the cute sort of chibi patches did.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not grabbed me as well. So we might have to ask her to go back to the drawing board. Literally. These are all really good. And we did have this conversation the other day. If you were going to hold back on one of these, the exclusive one being a bit of a black sheep isn't necessarily a bad idea, because ultimately these are also going to sell on Mysterious, but they're going to be priced at like $30 for the collection. So you get a better deal if you do it via Patreon, but then you don't get this exclusive one if you don't do it via Patreon. I don't know. Anyway, so why don't we take a look at some comments?
Yeah, these ones.
There you go.
There's a lot of comments coming through these days. We've got to learn how to do speed comments.
Well, you just skip a few, or you don't read them all. That's basically it. Here, Cherry says, cute. Kane Dev says, I like the name and number idea. Yep. This was in response to asking how we should structure the content on the certificates. And Cassandra says, do whatever's easiest. Austin says, loves the art for the certificate. Kara Goff, okay, you give it a try. I was just going very quickly.
Kara Goff, very happy with a patient number instead
faster,
of the
Martin.
name.
Faster.
Just happy it's autographed by you.
Come on, Martin, faster.
Pickle is happy with whatever. Good pal Greg, who doesn't know, just very happy to be processed into the asylum.
He's never been quite so excited to be officially processed into an asylum. There you go.
Summarizing. But yeah, doesn't want your hand to fall off from all the signing. You do have a lot of signing to do.
Yeah, well,
with this plus Out of the Woods.
all of these. This is just so. This would represent about probably about
a 20th.
So these are the cards for Out of the Woods that are sat here on this desk at the moment. This would represent about a 20th of what's in a box over there on the floor. That is mental. The number of cards in the box on the floor over there. It's 3,000.
Maybe a bit more. It's a lot.
Man.
Nick's Grim. Would just be fine with a number. Andrew. Oh, here's something. Bit complicated that, but you already replied to him. Just commenting what's different on side A and side B.
This is... We're now back to the little bit of a back and forth you and I already had. So why don't we skip that? This has been sorted. This is back to the whole side A, side B.
Chris wants a blank space. Fair enough. Vincent thinks the card's amazing. Wants Alice admission papers with their own number, which it will have. Cool. Shannon, blank space. Yep, you can have that.
Oh, Martin, we've been told it's time for a contest.
It is.
You have to listen to them in the chat there.
You do.
Time for a contest. Okay. What are we doing for a contest?
We'll stop there for now.
Oh, it's actually easy to give these things away. We could give away a mug. There is a mug.
Shall we?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I just put them in the shop. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Oh, and we realized something this morning. That was about the way that Nightbot manages contests when we do a random roll.
Yeah.
You need to be active in the chat, meaning you must have typed something in the chat for Nightbot to consider you visible. And there's a 15-minute window. So if you've not typed anything in the last 15 minutes and you want to be eligible for the contest, then you need to type something now. So there is a mug. I just put this into the shop yesterday. If you win this, you're going to have to specify whether you want the 11 or 15-ounce mug. Obviously, one is bigger and more expensive than the other, but, bigger's not always better.
I'm assuming that everyone would say bigger.
I wouldn't.
Would you not?
No, I like the little short, stubby mug.
Okay.
I think it looks nice.
Oh, Truth Decay. Thank you for the chat. Oh, that rushed past really quickly.
He wants us to go back to playing games during the streams, and that Martin could read comments and do all this other stuff while I'm playing.
We did ponder this. We have talked about shall we go back to playing some games.
Yeah, I know.
But, we could.
We need to find a game.
Yeah, people suggested a bunch in the past, didn't they? Like Frambo and stuff.
Yeah,
people suggested Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, but I played that and almost finished it recently. I don't think it would be a very good game for streaming. It's more of an experience than a game.
I want to play the original Alice, but we need to find it and download it, and we just haven't done that. You're the downloading illegal movies king.
I never download anything illegally.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't. Anyway, but you have a friend, your cousin, Barton. Is it Barton? So if you could just ask cousin Barton if he could find a torrent for the original Alice game and download that, we could then install it.
What's a torrent?
I think your cousin Barton knows all about it. Yeah, Barton Marriage, I think is his name. All right.
Right.
You ready for?
I think plenty of people have sent.
They have
stuff now. They've said words.
They've said their words. Okay. Where's the dumb button?
There it is.
Roll it. Ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Go.
The Jaeger 99.
I'm guessing it's the Jaeger.
Nah, whatever.
The Jaeger from Pacific Rim.
Oh, it's a Jaeger. It is indeed. Yeah. And it's even got something in... It's a Pacific... Oh, it says Pacific Rim.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
that's Ren? It's a person, some sort of person?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the Jaeger is it's Hunter, isn't it?
The robot hunter person, yeah.
So.
There you go.
Anyway, Jaeger 99.
Jaeger 99, you won a mug.
So, yes, say something. Show that you saw that you won, please.
And you need to send us your... name, mailing address, phone number, email address, and your selection of the size of mug, and you need to do that via a YouTube PM And Martin will write down your name here.
I will. Here we go.
To make sure that no one's cheating. Not that our lovely viewers would ever cheat.
Jaeger 99 equals mug.
Right.
Not that he is a mug, but he will get a mug.
Is it a car? Is that a negative thing to say about someone, that
Calling
they're
them
a mug?
Yeah, it's calling them kind of like stupid, easily manipulated or something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, is that just Brit slang?
I guess so.
Is that just me?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Well, so back to comments. Jaeger's not responding there, but maybe he or she will show up and do that soon.
Yes.
Shannon Cooper says, "Oh wow, I love it. Perhaps a blank space to write your own name." That is exactly what we're going to do.
Yep. Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Yep. Fine with just the number handwritten. It is a lot to ask to write names. So yes, a blank space would be much better. I don't want your hand to become an awful claw shape.
Well, and a lot of people mentioned that they actually would like the space to be blank so they can write someone else's name in there. And what we definitely don't want to get involved with is trying to collect all the names that like 1,000 people think might be written in there, and then having to sit down and read a list and write a name, read a list, write a name. That will make my head explode. So yeah, you guys write your own names in there. I think that's what we're going to go with.
Lucas goes with Chris's idea. I don't know what that was, but let them put their own name in. Sure. Kylie Blair, certificate is epic. Can't wait for it to be finished. Almost. It's almost done. Angelique P, if they could pay extra money for you to write their name.
Yeah.
It's adding complexity. It's just more things to go wrong.
Exactly. We try to avoid stuff like this. Like, for instance, Mysterious used to offer products for sale, and you could have something custom laser engraved on there. And I think we charge like 15 or 20 bucks for that. But I found that there's so many chances for things to go wrong. There's disappointment involved in it, you know? So when it's kept simple, the possibility for disappointment is reduced, and ultimately that's all we all want out of life, is the least amount of disappointment. So let's try not to do that.
It's a good thing to wish for in life.
Yeah.
Will Watson, certificate looks awesome. Excellent job, Alex, if you're watching. Does Alex watch the streams? Do we know?
I don't know. I think he reads the Patreon posts.
He does.
Yeah, but I don't know if he watches. I think he does watch the streams, actually.
Right.
Hey, Alex.
So he wants to write his own name in. Fair enough. Is the certificate available to new and old? I'm afraid not, Elaine. The time passed for the people to get it. But I mean, there's a potential that we could do a future one.
We could, but I feel bad for Elaine because she has been a long time customer at Mysterious, and she has supported, I think, our past Kickstarters and things like that, and she only just became a patron, and then she posted this question. So it's like, no, sadly you missed the boat.
There is... Every now and then something will come along that just doesn't sit right. You want to be nice to people who've supported you, but like you've said, if we then sold the certificates, it would destroy the concept of them being unique.
And if we do that, we've seen in the past, 99% of people who are going to get these certificates will say, no problem, we're nice people, let that person have a certificate. But there will be one person who screams bloody murder. I paid good money for something exclusive, and now you've destroyed it. And they go, I mean, we've seen this.
We have.
They go bonkers. And it's not just that they want a refund or that they want to tell the world that you are an awful, horrible human being, and that everything about you, your business, and your family ought to be burnt to the ground. So we want to try to avoid that.
Yeah, it's probably best to avoid that.
Yeah.
Cantor Martinez loves the design, wants them the blank space for their own name. Oh, question about patches from Igor. Igor.
No.
Is there an option to have them as Velcro?
No. So the thing is, Igor, that we did the math on this, and as many of you know, my girlfriend, my fiance, she works in fashion, so she's able to interface with some of the factories that do, for instance, like the scarves or actually she didn't do the head tube stuff, I did that, but these embroidery patches, like the Pirate Jam patches, she was the one who, because her company does patches. What happened to that envelope full of that cool stuff?
You took it away.
Oh, it's right here. So her company, they do all kinds of patches. Actually, this is a good thing to show. Can you hold that? Because this is on a... They do all kinds of patches as a function of their business already. So like this is kind of falling apart, obviously. But anyway, the point is that if you were to... I've already talked about this. If you were to stick Velcro on the backs of these patches, it starts to increase the cost on them quite a bit. So I think we want to try to avoid that because they are already... you do the math. Imagine... the cost on one of these things, even if it's like 25 cents or something, but we've got to do 10 of them times over 1,000, right? Because the goal is to get to 1,000 patrons, and then there's the packaging. Yeah,
Lulu Patches.
Oh yeah, there are Lulu Patches. That's funny. She actually did. So Lulu became a big theme in fashion this year, like Gucci. All these companies ended up doing Boston Terriers on their bags, on their jackets, on their... And the funny thing was that Yen was pushing for Lulu branded stuff or Boston Terrier face type stuff in the fashion at her company here in Shanghai prior to all these big high street fashion companies having come out with Boston Terrier artwork. Anyway, no Velcro. My point is no... We've done a little bit of the research on this, and it's not going to be possible to do Velcro. But
Jennifer puts her own Velcro on them.
Yeah,
she has ace skills.
Well, just get a hot glue gun and stick some Velcro on them. I mean, that's what I would do, or sew them on. That's actually what I would do. So yeah, hot glue won't work. So
let's pop this back in.
So no Velcro. Do your own Velcro. Sewing is fun. I don't know if you guys know that, but I sew quite a lot. There's all kinds of stuff I've sewn.
Ooh, making a mess here.
It's a very relaxing hobby,
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, so Igor, no about Velcro. Rebecca Longden Grace says a number is fine. Ice Killer says the certificate looks awesome. No. See, now Ice Killer is suggesting that we send out a survey and ask whether we want a space or a name, and then no. No.
We send surveys out sometimes for stuff.
People don't answer them.
Yeah.
This is the problem is, with Kickstarter, for instance, we have people who backed the Kickstarter who never filled in their they paid money. They're never going to get their stuff. And the same thing happens on Patreon. We send out reward surveys. People don't answer them.
Yep.
It's not to say we shouldn't do that. It's just that in this instance, it creates this kind of delay. Okay, here's a survey. Now, how long do we wait? And what'll happen inevitably is a month after we send out the survey, someone who'd missed the survey will write in and say, but I want my name, or I don't want my name. And now we're screwed up because there's a person who's sad that they missed the survey. And again, they want to burn down our house and kill our dog. So I just try to avoid that stuff. What's going on? He also says the patches look great. I want to point out the Cheshire Cat's eyes should be fixed so that the split pupil does not curl and look like it's a part of his tattoo markings. Do you hear that, Jennifer?
I like that the pupils blend into the tattoo.
Let me see.
That the eye sort of goes into the curl.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I think that was probably on purpose.
Yeah, I like that as well. I thought that was quite cool. I wouldn't change that.
Yeah.
There's also something to be said for what these machines can do in terms of the stitching. And anyway, we don't know if that's going to affect it or not. Yeah.
Right, but we get to Monica. Awesome. Loves the certificate, wants a blank space, and the patches are beyond cute. Okay. Sally doesn't mind not having their name on it. Wants to get it for her sister. Oh, bless.
That's very good. See.
Delirious Rosa. The patches are cute. Fine if there's a space for their own name. Ina is back again.
Rhymes with Gina. We know.
Is that how we remember it now?
Rhymes with Tina. Rhymes with Gina.
Okay.
It's not Ina like vagina. I thought we wrote this whole song. Did you not tell them that?
I didn't get the lyrics to that song.
Okay. Well, we were quite drunk. No, I'm just kidding. We did not write a name song about your name, Ina, but we do remember now
Right.
It has been...
Certificates look cool. I'd love to have it named, but it's fine with just a number and a signature. It is a lot of cards to write. Yes. Charmaine. Certificate looking cool. Fine with a number. Caitlin Bauer. Again, loving the certificate. Excited to get it. Haley Elias. Certificate looks incredible. Fine with a number and a space. Yeah, this time it makes a perfect gift if they wanted to give it to someone else. It would. Chris, not doing names, would indeed save an immense amount of time and wrist pain.
Somebody seems to say, okay, so we've got a super chat from Raining Coffee. The whole streaming to keep people up to date is an awesome idea. Also, if you guys are accepting suggestions on possible games to play after the first Alice, I would recommend Outlast or Outlast 2.
I do want to play the Outlast games. I almost picked it up once.
All right.
The sort of night vision, hiding from crazy-ass inmates, running around an asylum thing.
That sounds fun. Oh, yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
I might pick it up when I go home.
That sounds like a good one. Well, thank you, Raining Coffee.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
We appreciate your support and you being here, and yeah, it's a good idea. So we will take a look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you. Actually, Raining Coffee interrupted you, but I apologize for interrupting you.
It's fine to interrupt us with a super chat. Okay. We don't mind that.
All right.
What did we get to? We did Chris. Karen. Certificate looking incredible. Number is fine and a space. Yep. That seems to be the leading thought, doesn't it? A number and a space is fine. Josh, whatever works best for you. It's very kind. Thank you, Josh. Salah, the lettering are amazing as usual.
Well, but you need to thank Salah for just making a rational, simple comment.
As opposed to, what does Salah usually write?
Well, he writes things like, yeah.
Lucas. Lucas was mentioned. Lucas has been mentioned twice now, I suppose, with the super chat.
Has he now?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's your mention, Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you for the
Severin.
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 Severine? Oh, Severine? Aurora Westfall.
Likes the idea of a space to fill in their own names and save you some time from all the signing. Yep. Lily Cromwell. Certificate looks rad. Wow, not heard rad in a while.
Yeah.
Yep. Sebastian is rated A for awesome. Okay. Thank you. Strawberry Cheshire also saying it looks awesome. Just fine having it a number. David Pacheco would write more, but everything's already been said. Sean Farmer.
I think there's there's actually been quite a few requests for a Lulu Badge. We already have a Lulu Badge of sorts. Was there one in here?
There was.
Yeah?
It's on that one, yeah.
What does it say? It says no?
I think this one's quite good.
Oh, that is a Lulu Badge. Can we take that off of there? Oh, yeah.
Apparently we can.
Huh. So, we already sort of have a Lulu Badge. We could do these. So there's a Lulu Badge. Patch, I guess. We could throw these into... I'm just terrible at the orientation of the items to the camera, and I always stick them in front of your face. Anyway, we could throw some of these together if everybody wants them. It's not quite Lulu, because I think her line here is much thinner than your typical Boston's white line on their head.
We have another super chat from Panic Enabled.
Uh-oh. Panic Enabled?
Yes.
Wow.
Why did the Queens fuse? So curious.
Yeah, this question has come up before, and I don't think I was previously able to offer a meaningful response to that.
Is it going to be part of Alice Asylum?
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, is that people were saying there ought to be an explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts and the Red Queen were sort of fused together. And I think we mention that there could be some sort of double cross, some sort of betrayal, and so one whacks the other or something. I don't know.
but it could certainly be part of the Alice Asylum game.
Yes.
So you can find out.
Yes.
Later.
Right. So Lucas is sever-in, like to sever or chop something. We'll remember that.
Okay.
We don't want to get severed or chopped by him later. So people do want a Lulu badge. So, okay, we'll look into doing that. And then Alice Liddell has given us Canadian $5. Thank you for the Canadian $5, eh? And wants to know what kind of weapon Alice will use. Well, she's usually got an arsenal of weapons, like knives and pepper grinders and throwing cards and
hobby horse,
all kinds of stuff.
Teapot.
For the new game, we haven't really done the full list yet. It's something we're still working on, but we have suggested that there'd be more of a toyish type of design to a lot of the weapons that she's using, because she's going to be younger. She will not have acquired some of the things that are found later in the game, and like in Madness Returns, for instance. And I think we want to see her maybe having a bit more physical fighting early on. We talked about having stealth sections where she's hiding a bit more, or sort of mental powers, you know. I mean, that she's trying to build up the psychological fortitude to fight against the creatures that are taking over her imagination.
We've not mentioned it in a while. The old squish.
Yeah, that's right. I'm squishing
like,
your head.
Almost like a sniper rifle, but it's fingers for squishing.
And then we found out that it's actually
literally, like a few weeks after we thought about that, it's like a mod or something, or some DLC for a shooter game that's out there.
It was in Call of Duty or something like that.
Squishing the bad guys at a distance.
Yeah, so that's good. Anyways, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that we can't do that. You know, we actually have more of a reason to create an excuse for that kind of childish weaponry than, say, the Call of Duty franchise would. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Right, last one's Magus. Understands just a signature. Was not expecting more than that. Okay. Luna. I think the number would be fine. Plus, authentic inmate fashion. What? Not sure what that is. Do you get that? Talking about fashion? If it was in an authentic inmate fashion, like a stylee.
Okay.
Right, okay. Got myself confused there a minute. And Reggio, I think. Just one quest. Amazing, guys. The patches would be iron ready or without glue. So on.
Yeah. They're not going to be iron ready, but someone did mention in the chat just now, if you're asking that question, then you probably understand that there's a material out there that you can put in between a patch and whatever piece of clothing you want it to go onto, and you iron it, and it then will stick to your clothing. We are not making patches that are iron ready. They're just stitching on the back, but that's not to say that you couldn't go out and buy a bit of that and stick it on there.
I would assume that material is quite cheap.
Yeah,
from,
it's extremely
like
cheap.
Hobby shops or eBay or whatever.
That is exactly what the person in the chat there said, is that it's cheap and readily available, and so go and grab some of that.
Right. Whew. Got through the comments.
That's a lot of comments.
That is a lot of comments.
So we did get to the bottom of the comments, and that would bring us to the bottom of, or the finishing of that Patreon post regarding the certificates. What we've not yet done is look at the previous post in which there was artwork from Joey, and that's what you see on screen right now.
Yeah.
She had done up some pretty cool images. This was during the kind of post-Chinese New Year period of time. You may have noticed that because of Chinese New Year, things slowed down quite a bit around here.
Yes.
We were gone. I went off sailing, and Joey was back in her hometown taking care of her family, as you do when you are a Chinese person.
And I was stuck all on my lonesome, but with Lulu.
Yes.
In Shanghai.
Thank you for taking care of Lulu, Martin.
It's okay.
So, so Joey sent along, I'll go back to the art review page here. So she sent along this sort of surrealist, I think she's kind of doing a little undertones of Ken Wong here, which there's nothing wrong about that at all. So yeah, she's done. We'll get this logo replaced with the new logo that Alex is working on. But she's done a really beautiful representation of Alice in a kind of surrealist environment. I don't know what these are. What would you call those? Sort of like olive bean pods?
You kind of see them in like potpourri bowls, don't you? Like,
really?
Kind of hardened and I think.
But yeah, Alice is looking a little bit grumpy here.
But again, this is one of those images that I think is so good, it would make an awesome poster as is.
Yeah.
It doesn't need finishing.
I know, it is pretty cool just as it is right now.
It will be finished, but it still looks fab now.
Well, and that's the thing that's so cool to see is the process that the artists go through as they're building, towards the final art. And I've sent her a couple comments on this, and she'll turn it around, and we'll get another version, and then at some point we can do these up as actual posters. And I think this would be a great Patreon poster for the next...
I think it would.
Yeah.
But we've already said what the next one is.
Well, the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cuber Toy sends us £2.
£2.
£2 and says, "Here's coffee. Cannot stay. Keep up the good work." Well, thank you.
Thank you,
Cuber Toy, for
Mr.
the
Toy.
coffee. Much appreciated.
Yes.
You're much loved, as are all of you in the chat there who are lending your support and your voice to what we're working on here. So back to the post. Where is the post website? Okay. She had also sent along, I guess I could just do them here. I don't know why I keep going back to that post, because we can zoom here. She also sent along this, which is a concept image for a sort of chess region valley that Alice is going to make her way up through.
Yeah.
So she's working a bit more on environments these days, and I have asked her to start to focus more on environments. We have Omri working on characters. We have Alex working on, call it design, iconography, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I've split our team. We now have a team of 3. I guess you could say Sonny's on the team, but he tends to vanish a bit, so it's okay. But we do have those 3 artists now dedicated pretty much full-time, or I should say Alex is full-time, Joey is full-time. Omri is outputting pretty quickly. I don't know if he's completely full-time. And then the same thing with Sonny. He outputs quite a bit, and then he'll vanish, and then he'll output quite a bit and vanish. So,
and it is the support from the patrons that make all this possible.
Yeah, we couldn't afford
this. It literally
this.
is. This art would not be existing had we not got so many patrons
We really
pledging.
could not afford to get all this art done if it weren't for you guys. So thank you very much. This image she did, it was titled in her folder or in the email, something having to do with turtles, and this was like a big sky cow. I should have pulled up the original concept sketch that she sent along with that, because it was quite funny actually. This literally was like a cow.
That reminds
like a moo
me
cow.
Of the Studio Ghibli Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Where the big forest god is looming over stuff.
Yep, that's right. Well, and I think that's kind of the thing that we want to do for this game, and we've talked about this before, and that is to have sections of the game that are fixed. Those would be kind of castles or dungeons, and they'll have puzzles and whatnot included inside of them. But if we go out into the explorable world, it's much more of an open world. It may even be a dynamically generated world. I know, I see it. Then we would find things like this, weird creatures sort of floating around. Anyway, so
Reggio, the patron comment we just recently did.
He sends €1.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
for
get
that.
the feeling that when people do that, do they also type something that doesn't appear?
I think that's right.
Because it's 2 of something to... Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll keep an eye out for if you did say anything.
Oh, he says here, a little coffee, have to go, 3 a.m. here. Love you guys.
Thank you very much.
We love you too, Reggio, Rhoda. And thank you for the coffee.
Yeah.
Why is everyone sending us coffee? I mean, I thought that it said in the chat that if you send us money, we're going to spend it on drugs and alcohol.
We have had more wine than usual recently.
And I think maybe they're trying to. They're trying to. It's an intervention, Martin.
You know, sitting on the corner.
It's an intervention.
Some wine chat project stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well. Okay. Well, why don't we go and take a look at the comments that appeared on this post? Oh, it's contest time.
It is contest time.
What do you want to do?
Should we go back to an Omega necklace?
All right.
Let's do an Omega necklace.
If you go over to accessories, and there's an Omega necklace. So there's an Omega necklace. You can find them on Mysterious. They are necklaces, and they are in the shape of an Omega.
That's exactly what it says on the tin.
It really does. So, you know the drill. We're going to give away a necklace. If you win, then you got to send along all your details. Looks like we've got a bunch of people in the chat there.
Fair few.
Do remember that if you've not commented recently, then Nightbot will not see you. So
let's give them a few seconds before we roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is your chance.
This is it.
You got to have said something in the chat in the last 15 minutes. Except for Hamill as Alice. That's an automatic disqualifier.
Yes.
I'm gonna program Nightbot to remove anybody from the contest giveaway that says Hamill is as Alice. There you go, derpy horse.
Okay. Roll it.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Lady Lovecraft.
Lady Lovecraft.
Didn't she win something last week? No.
No.
Okay.
I recognize the name from the chat.
I see. Well, there you go. So Lady Lovecraft won the
Omega necklace.
Omega necklace.
Let's jot that down.
You will need to do the thing that includes sending along your name, email address, phone number, mailing address, and you'll want to do that as a PM to my YouTube account. And you also can specify that you won the Omega necklace, and Martin is writing that down.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we? All right, comments. So we already looked at all this stuff. We looked at Joey's art. We looked at Alex's logo. And so this was the comments that came out of the stuff that got posted. Ice Killer says, oh my lord.
Oh my lord.
He had a mind blown. It's going to be awesome. And so he's saying the last comment is begging to be finished. Well, yeah, I mean, or the last concept. So yeah, all three of these are going to get finished. She's working on that stuff now. So the next update we do, you should expect to see these images updated. And, you know, keeping in mind, these images are also going to go to Alex, and Alex is going to put all this stuff into the presentation, and he's going to do all this graphic designy stuff all around the presentation. And we were talking yesterday, and he was saying he wants the presentation to have a kind of narrative where it starts off like clean admission documents, and then as you progress through the presentation, it gets darker and more fucked up. And so,
good idea.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing all that, and all of this artwork from Joey and Sunny and Omri will be sprinkled liberally throughout the presentation.
You know what we haven't done yet?
What's that?
We haven't mentioned these guys.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Freaky Fandoms, we'll give a shout out to our awesome high-level Patreon support. They've been with us a while. They always back our Kickstarters and patrons, and they're always around being awesome, so we do give massive thanks to those guys. They have a podcast, which is probably linked below and somewhere on YouTube, so please click that, give them a listen, see if you like what you hear, subscribe to them, and just let them know that you like their stuff.
They are here.
Oh my god, that's too scary.
They're doing Evil Dead. I really like Evil Dead. That was a good one. So yeah, they're covering pop culture, but mainly films and horror films in particular. And so it looks like the latest is on Evil Dead. This is the scene where Ash looks into the floor underneath the cabin once all hell has started to break loose, right?
A big thanks to Cuba Toy again, quickly, for the another £2 for drugs and alcohol.
Thank you. Can we?
Thank you.
Can we? Is Evil Dead the one? Oh no, I'm thinking of Dead Alive. Or no, I'm thinking of what's the one with Ash in it?
Evil Dead.
It is Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Why is he not listed here? This is the
legal reasons. I don't know.
This is the 2013 version of Evil Dead.
Oh,
this is something different.
Right. Did you not see the remake?
Is that what this is?
Possibly. It's actually not bad.
Really?
Yeah, they did a reasonable job of it.
All right.
Check it out.
I'm a huge fan of the originals. "Oh, this is my boomstick," and shop smart, shop S smart. I mean, all this was great. This is when we were making Doom. Actually, we were watching those, and we thought those movies were hilarious. And so, yeah, I didn't realize that they'd redone a new one. Okay,
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Let's see. What I did like, though, was in Cabin in the Woods how they go into the basement and like all of the little Chotskys are there. All of the what do you call them in the film world? The MacGuffins.
MacGuffins.
All the MacGuffins are there.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It is very meta and
that was very funny.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so enough of that. Okay.
Yes. So Freaky Fandoms.
Yeah.
Check them out.
Go to Freaky Fandoms because they're helping us and we're helping you, and so it's the big circle of life. Okay. We were at Rachel. Is that right?
Is that? Yep, there we go.
Yeah, okay, so Rachel's there. Rachel is in love with all the stuff that's going on. Same with Austin. I think he says that the Alice logo is fucking phenomenal and it's not even done yet. Good luck with Pirate Jam. Yeah, Pirate Jam is coming up very soon. Wendy Bratcher loves the logo. Gives her chills. Wow, the logo can give you chills.
Apparently.
There's Greg. Hello, Greg. Thank you for your support. He's happy to see surreal art. Lee Marshall loves the Nighttime Chess Kingdom. Shannon Cooper loves the chess image. David likes the tattoo logo.
Yeah, people have mentioned that. They make a good tat.
Look, see, Sala knows. Sala's learning. He says, these are amazing. I honestly have a lot to say, though. I'll just stick with the pictures are amazing. Good luck wrapping up Pirate Jam. Sala! You're doing it, man. That's good.
More of this.
More of that. That's awesome. All right. Gep. I know I saw Gep in the chat here. Says Joey's killing it. Wants prints of all of these. Yes, we will make prints of these. Yes. You want to keep going there? Emma Yorn. I just don't want to try to pronounce that name.
Emma
Yorn
Bjornstrup.
Isn't it just Yornstrup? I don't think you pronounce the B.
So is Bjork just York?
Well, she's weird though. I don't know.
Yes, just beautiful pieces of art. Indeed they are.
Ooh, look, Cubertoy says he just met Bruce Campbell yesterday. Wow.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
That's mental. I would love to meet Bruce.
Klaatu Verata shit.
I would also love to meet him because he was in Burn Notice. He was great
movie.
in Burn Notice.
I love that movie so much.
Evelina loves the logo. It's perfect. Chess Kingdom is amazing. Wants to have that picture. Maybe you can one day.
Yep.
Monica Dry Ice loves the art, especially the Chess Road. Yep. Luke Caspar. Sky Cows. Sky Cows everywhere. Wouldn't that be a world?
That would be a world. That sounds like a world Rick and Morty would visit.
It would. Ina. Rhymes with Tina. So amazing to see the whole thing coming to life. It is. The amount of art that's coming through these days, it's very exciting. Colour scheme on the first image is lovely. It is the blues and the pinks.
Ina saying, I need to cut down on the length of my comments. Actually,
who was it that...
It's Anthony that does the longest and most difficult to interpret comments. Though... It's strange. I've noticed recently he's still sending stuff through, but I think he does them as posts, and he no longer puts them in the comments. But he still writes incredibly. I'm trying to think of the right word. Detailed and kind of meandering, interesting comments, but he's not putting them in the comments anymore. He's putting them in his posts.
Okay.
We do actually like reading the comments. And I read them in full when they come through. They arrive as emails for me, and I read them in full, and they do get stuck into my head, and I'm thankful that everyone is out there writing them, genuinely thankful. The only thing is, I think when we're reading them back on YouTube, we feel, I don't know, I feel a little bit uncomfortable reading out the full thing, but maybe we shouldn't. Maybe people like hearing these things read in full. You tell us.
Okay. Mark Muir. Strong hints of Horizon Zero Dawn in the Sky Cow image, but fountains rather than flames. If the game could be anything like that, I would be happy.
Yeah.
Lily Cromwell, the new logo is great. Joey's stuff is great. Omri's stuff is great.
Everybody's stuff is great.
How can EA say no? They can't. Hopefully. Sarah Heist, wondering about the chess world. White King and the small role he played in Madness Returns. Will he have a bigger role in Asylum?
Can do. We'll see.
Possible. Still early days. David Pacheco. Yes! I want to whack enemies and the queen with the flamingo. Will the flamingo be a weapon? I get like complaints from like animal rights groups, like smashing things around with a flamingo.
Yeah, but you could flip it around and shoot things with flamingo poop.
Okay.
Why does it have to be used as a bat?
Athena West, the logo is amazing. Loves the sharp edges and integrated chaos symbol.
Well, that's what you get when you do a Korean barbecue logo.
Yep. And Elijah, the Fess Mountains look very open world. Open world would be very appealing. Yes, it would.
Yeah, I think that's what we're pushing for sure.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes. Open world Alice. I don't know. Just yet. A lot of it really depends on the team that we end up working with and how their technology might work with an open world concept. But we first need to do the pitch to EA. Again, we said during last week's stream, I've got to go off to Pirate Jam in 10 days, and I'm gone from the 25th of March until the 15th of April. And during that time, we expect to have Alex working on and finishing the presentation. And then when I come back, we would be looking at sometime around the end of April to send that presentation to... I think we talked about this before. There's one of these very large publishers / billion-dollar companies out there who've essentially said, we'll fund this. Come back with this and we'll fund it, because they're looking for original content like this. So my thought was actually to send it to them, the presentation, send it to them first, get their feedback. So it would be submitted in a fashion where it's like, look, we don't want a yes or a no from you right now. This is not an actual submission. But what we do want is your feedback on this as a submission. How can we make it better? How could we make it when we bring it back to you? You're more likely to say yes. And so then the thing would be to fix it up and then send it to EA, get the permission. And maybe we would even already at that point have the ability to say, look, this other company's ready to fund this. And that'll make it that much easier for EA to say yes.
It really would.
What's Ice Killer say there?
Ice Killer, thank you very much for the chat. Hi, American and Martin. You guys must have missed me from the chat here. I always see you in comments and stuff when we're looking around. I used to write super long post early on. Will Cheshire Kitten plush be real?
Can do. We do need to work on more physical things. And like I said, we're doing these patches. This is a physical thing. We're doing the cards. We're doing these coins for Pirate Jam now, and we've done a lot of other kind of funky merchandise for Pirate Jam, like waterproof bags and whatnot. And anyway, I think we're slowly starting to go from like a walk to a jog when it comes to product manufacturing.
It's one of the good things about being over here.
Yeah,
there's always a factory that will make you something.
But it's all. I was having this conversation with Alex yesterday, because we are just this super tiny little independent enterprise trying to make all this happen, and our primary sources of cash flow are the Patreon and then the Mysterious Shop. We can only move so fast. I don't want to sort of trip over our own feet, attempting to get too much stuff made too quickly. When you think about product manufacturing, it's an investment in the product itself, but then you've also got to ship the thing. And even like these little guys, what was it for the shipping cost? Just to put these in an envelope, the minimum cost to send like $4 US. So you can imagine that when we say, okay, we're going to give away a sheet of these, that's going to be over 1,000, because the number is at 1,000 where it triggers. But we may end up with 1,200 people saying, being in the list at the time that it happens. And so, but anyway, think like 1,000 people times $4. That's just $4,000 in shipping right there. Plus, there's another, I think we figured out it's a couple $4,000 in manufacturing. So just to fulfill on a reward like that, which is relatively simple, you're looking at getting close to like $10,000 in cost for us.
Yeah.
If you then go to something like a Cheshire Cat plushie, which is going to take up a lot more space in shipping, it's going to be heavier. The manufacturing costs are going to be a lot higher. You suddenly start looking at, like, with a lot of the other products we do, like say the Vorpal umbrellas, just the cash outlay to create a product like that for a small company like us is significant.
Yeah.
And so anyway, my point is we have to kind of balance the time and the resources and the cash and all this stuff. And we also have to try to figure out what works best in terms of getting EA to say yes. Once EA says yes, we'll have a lot more flexibility, assuming we go out and we're raising money, or one of these big corporate behemoths comes along and says, here's a big blob of money, go make your stuff. But right now it's a bit of a challenge, so we have to move slowly and cautiously.
Slowly, catchy monkey.
Yeah,
or whatever the phrase is.
There you go.
Sassy Minxie asks a question.
All right.
That we answered, but probably just arrived. The patches do not adhere to clothing; they need to be sewn, but you can get material that you can put between the patch and your clothing and iron it on, and it will stick.
Yeah.
So they don't come as sticky. So
I wouldn't want that, because I like to sew these things on, and if you put the sticky patch on the back, it creates another layer of stuff. And so yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What did we get to? We did Patreon comments.
Well, we haven't done the obligatory, if you want to support Alice Asylum, go and do these things. And I was
list 04 things.
I was going to point out that I recently noticed. I looked at our mailing list, the count. We're at like 33,000 names on that list, on the mailing list. That's great, you know. Still, it's pretty far short of where we need to be. I think, you know, a number like 100,000 would be meaningful, but the reality is we need that list to be at like 200,000 people if we're going the crowdfunding route or some kind of hybrid crowdfunding route. So again, we need to ask that you go over to AmericanMcGee.com and you grab this and you send it to your friends and you ask them to sign up for the mailing list. Only do that if they're genuinely interested in a new Alice game, though. It doesn't help if you have like your grandma sign up for it and she's never even touched a game before.
Creating 10,000 fake email addresses doesn't help either.
Yeah, so please, only real people that have genuine interest in Alice.
So that's thing number one that you could help with.
One.
Thing number two, do like subscribe to the social media channels. As you can see, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Thing three, if you have the ability, you could support us on Patreon. As we've talked about earlier, there's like goodies up for grabs, depending on what level you're at and what goals we reach. So head on over, have a read. And thing four, buy something on Mysterious. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. T-shirts, hoodies, wallets, bags,
art prints, coffee mugs, jewelry.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
So yeah, just go to AmericanMcGee.com and there's a handy list of 4 things that would certainly help us take steps closer to making Alice Asylum a reality.
There certainly are. Yeah. So we've done Out of the... Oh, no, we haven't done Out of the Woods.
Yeah, let's do a quick Out of the Woods.
So I put Out of the Woods... What I did was I put the illustrated book here because I thought we could flip through that for a second. But for those of you who don't know, Martin, what is Out of the Woods?
It was our recent, not so recent now, successful Kickstarter we did. It's a card game that also comes with, well, doesn't come with, but you can also get like an illustrated storybook that has the 10 fairy tales in from the card game, such as Snow White, Pied Piper, Three Little Pigs, etc. There's also a colouring book that has 48 images in it, I believe. There's a neoprene playing mat, art prints. So yeah, a bunch of stuff we did there. American is just setting some stuff up now. However, yeah, if you go to just do a search for Out of the Woods on Kickstarter, really, and yeah, you will see there's also a red button at the top of the Kickstarter that takes you now to the Backer Kit pre-order store, because you can't get it on Kickstarter anymore. And yeah, check it out.
I suppose it's not nice to be doing all this. So,
What
well, I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's like...
Is that live? Are you tinkering live?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, what do you want? I don't know what you want, man.
So,
I don't know how else we're going to show this off if I don't set this up.
Out of the Woods.
So this is Alex sent along the final book files, and so I just thought you guys might like to see this. Is it actually doing a 2-page spread across? Oh, it is. Okay, yeah. There we go. Yeah, this is the book proof, and this has been. Didn't we just pay a bunch? Is this what we paid a bunch of money for to send off to the?
Literally yesterday, the factory has been given a big chunk of money to basically make the illustrated book and the coloring book.
Right.
We're going to get prototypes first, so we can give it the thumbs up. But yes, it's now being paid. It's being done. It's in motion.
It's on the way.
So
yeah. So it says, how many pages did the book end up being? It's like 48, 50 pages. Yeah. 40. And it's going to be hardbound, and it is a collection of fairy tales, each of them illustrated, beautifully illustrated.
These images you're seeing are on the cards in the card game
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is Jack and the Beanstalk. And at the end of each story, there are these takeaways for the stories. This was sort of my thought on how we add something back to fairy tales in the modern era. And I think a few of you probably kind of tuned into the fact that I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson. I was listening to him way prior to when he blew up because of the whole Canada, what was that House Bill, CA 41 or something, but where they had compelled speech, and so he had done some YouTube. I was actually listening to his university lectures prior to that, because he's been going and doing these biblical series and these sort of dissections of fairy tales and of religion for moral guidance for quite some time. What's that?
Knives X Kitties. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for all your work. An open world Alice would be awesome. It would. The iron-on webbing used to adhere patches is called Heat and Bond. Okay. Sold at Jones, if you have a Jones where you live.
There you go. Joanne's.
Joanne's. Yeah, Heat and Bond. So yeah, look for it in craft shops or eBay or Amazon, I guess. Maybe. Thank you, Knives X Kitties, for the chat and the info.
Cool. So yeah, this section of the book is my attempt at, say you're an atheist, like I'm an atheist, or at least I am when I'm not about to be in a car crash or something horrible is happening. I think in moments of fear and trauma, I stop being an atheist. I think a lot of people are like that. But back to the moral part, the idea is go into these fairy tales and try to pull out some of the obvious and not so obvious lessons that are contained within, thereby making it so, let's say you're a parent and you want to, I don't mean you're a parent as in obvious, I mean you are a parent, but maybe you're an apparent parent. You want to teach your kids lessons and you want to have the stories have some teeth in them. Fairy tales are good for that. It was why they were originally written, but I think a lot of people have sort of lost sight of that, and so these at the end of each story are the lessons pulled out of each of the tales, and trying to kind of give you something you can talk to your child or yourself about. And yeah, so I mean, you know, some of them are.
Here's a good one. This lesson 10.
Well, yeah, some of them are kind of funny.
Don't
I mean,
be a dick.
I did write some of them kind of funny and you know, intentionally. And I do think, like, you think about the lessons contained within Jack and the Beanstalk. A lot of times when we read Jack and the Beanstalk, there's the sense that because the enemy within the story is this giant who lives up in the clouds and eats Englishmen, that somehow it's fair game for Jack to go and basically fuck up this guy's life. And in fact, when you take a little bit deeper look at the story, you'll realize, as is said here, don't be a dick. Jack lied to his mother. He committed multiple thefts and eventually murdered a giant who'd done him no harm. While Jack and his mother flourish on a diet of inedible eggs, meaning the goose that lays the golden eggs, and they listen to endless gilded tunes and ride off into the sunset on a golden carriage, we have to ask ourselves, what of the giant's wife, of his parents? One day the giant was there doing giant things, and the next he's gone below the clouds and has been murdered by an axe-wielding thief. Jack was a dick, and we can only hope that one day is murdered by a toothpick-wielding munchkin. Every choice Jack made after he got the beans was for the sake of self-preservation. Saving Mom was just an accident. Saving his mom was just an accident. If you were to look at this in sort of context of the recent Jordan Peterson book, he's got a lesson in there on doing what's right, not what's expedient. And so Jack is a lesson in a person doing what was expedient over and over and over again. And while he may have survived his own stupidity, the result is a tremendous amount of destruction, death, and unhappiness at his hands, and as a sort of carry on from the things that he did. So anyway,
10 lessons contained at the end of each story.
They're not always 10.
Are they not?
No, because not all of the... Well, one of the things is you
like this picture.
That's a good picture. Some of these pictures, they kind of remind me when I was a kid, we had illustrated Bible books, and some of them actually remind me of that. Like,
Did you have this in the book?
Well, but look at this. This has got a lot of... I don't know if... I think it's inadvertent, but just sort of biblical imagery going on within it, right? I mean, you've got a cross up here, and it's at dawn or at dusk, which is oftentimes when you look at biblical imagery, there are the rays of the light of God shining through the clouds. And so, yeah, I think, again, a lot of the same lessons, a lot of the same story structures. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this
that's not dark at all.
No.
I like how the blood, he's managed to get the blood across both pages there.
Yeah, he's Alex is quite thoughtful when he does his stuff. He puts a lot of thought into it.
Thoughtful with his blood.
No, but instead he could have easily just
pasted them in there.
Cut and pasted some images and some text into columns.
This is true. He could have.
But he did not. It's another good image. Witchy McWitchingson.
I liked anyway, I can't point. I liked this takeaway from Rapunzel.
Which one?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Don't trade your first and only child for salad greens.
Learn to negotiate.
Learn to negotiate. This is actually a really good point for a lot of people out there. Negotiation involves conflict, but a lot of people are so conflict avoidant that they never learn how to negotiate. They don't know how to say no. And not knowing how to say no, not wanting to embrace conflict means, especially when you encounter someone who is good at negotiation, someone who recognizes the weakness for negotiation in others, they're going to get one over on you. And it's going to happen again and again and again throughout life. And you're always going to wonder, why am I ending up on the short end of this deal? Why am I ending up in a bad job? Why am I in a bad relationship? Why am I not getting the things that I want out of life? 99% of the time, in my experience, people's unhappiness with their circumstances is directly related to their inability to negotiate. And again, negotiation means conflict. You have to be able to engage in conflict with others if you're going to get the things that you want out of life. And most people are not taught this. Most people are taught, be really nice to others and, do well and do unto others, and you're going to be... No. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. So,
a few people in the chat have asked if they can just buy this book on its own. Yes, you can. Just go to the Out of the Woods Backer Kit shop.
It is...
Do we have that up anywhere?
It is here. So
yeah, this is what it looks like, so you'll know you're at the right place. But yeah, you could get the things separately. There's the game, there's the neoprene mat, there's the colouring book.
Oh, there it is. There's the book. Illustrated book. Add to cart. Yeah, you just go over here. I'm pretty sure if you just type Out of the Woods into Google, what happens? If you go to Google and you type like this, Out of the Woods, what's the first thing that comes up?
Taylor Swift.
No, not Taylor Swift. Oh God. Well,
No, it's
okay.
Out of the Woods backer kit.
Let's try
Kickstarter.
McGee. There you go.
There you go.
So if you go to Out of the Woods,
the first link is the Kickstarter.
and if you go to the Kickstarter, you'll get
There's a red button at the top of the page that takes you to backer kit.
It's this right here. Pre-order Out of the Woods.
Yep.
So you click on that and you're good to go.
You can get anything separately. Doesn't have to be bought in a bundle or together with anything.
Yep.
Have a look.
This is true. Yeah, you can get just the book by itself, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, we can continue life lessons on another.
Yeah. Look at the time.
It's time for a contest.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a contest, and I think it's time for us to be finished. Because we don't really have anything else to go through.
Pirate Jam is it's coming up soon. Check out the website.
Yeah.
It's pirate-jam.com.
It is pirate-jam.com.
Right.
But, yeah, why don't we do one more giveaway? I don't think they care about Pirate Jam right now.
Okay.
They'll care about Pirate Jam when Pirate Jam is actually going on.
Okay, so we've talked about that. We just talked about Out of the Woods and all the goodies. We talked about Alice. We went through Patreon. We've done super chats and chats.
It's all done.
It's all done,
So,
really.
what are you going to give away this time, Martin? You choose.
I don't know. Don't put me on. So let's do an Omega necklace again.
All right, Martin has decided on another Omega necklace.
Yeah.
So remember, if you want to be eligible for the contest, you need to say something in the chat in the last 15 minutes.
Oh my God, that's going to go
that's
past quick. How difficult to be a game designer as opposed to be a developer. You always want to be a designer of something.
We still need to change the mouse pad price on the store.
Still.
Yes, we do.
We do.
All right.
Benjamin.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
But so wait, the question was how difficult is it to be a game designer as opposed to a game developer? Huh? Did you always want to be a designer since the beginning? I guess I understand what you're saying. Like a game developer might be a person who is say responsible for one aspect of the development of the game, like an animator or a level designer. I hope that's the question that you're asking. And I would say that I've never really had a strong desire to be one or the other. I mean, some of my most happy years in the industry were related to, being a level designer. I mean, I would just sit down at my desk and I would build levels and I didn't have to really worry about much. By the time I got to running my own studio, that's really, really stressful. And in fact, after 10 years of running my own studio, I wanted nothing but to just eject, get out, I'm actually pretty happy with the things we're doing these days because we it's much more relaxed. It's just like me and Martin sat around and maybe let's make a card game, and then we go and we sit down at the bar and we come up with rules, and I don't know, it's a
lot more relaxing.
I'm happy these days. I get to work with people like Jennifer, who's doing really cute art for us, and Alex down in Australia, who's doing really cool logos and stuff, and Joey, and we don't have an office, and but yet we still get to I get to sit down and write stuff, and Martin and I get to sit around and strategize on stuff, and so I don't know, it's I'd say if you get an opportunity to be a developer, go be a developer. If you get an opportunity to be a designer, do it, and then you'll decide whether you want to do that stuff forever. Yeah, for me, I feel like I had enough of both that I'm whatever you call what we're doing now, which is bizarre because like I'm doing Pirate Jam, I'm doing a new Alice game. We're doing this mysterious stuff where we make like purses and wallets. We did Out of the Woods, which is a physical game. Like I don't feel like I have any boundaries around what I can and cannot do anymore.
You must be a designer. You must be a developer.
I really like that. I've got no expectations from anyone except Lulu, who wants to be fed from time to time. Okay, you guys ready?
Roll it.
This is going to be the final contest of the evening. It went to Monica Dry Ice. Do you actually pronounce that Dry Ice or just Dryce?
I'm pronouncing it as Dry Ice. But yes, the name is familiar. I have seen that name on some lists and patrons and stuff.
She's a patron, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Well done.
congratulations, Monica Dry Ice. You know the drill. You got to send your mailing address, phone number, email address, the thing that you won.
Apparently, I write really loudly.
You write loudly?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the microphone picking it up.
Wow. Interesting. He does write loudly. That was loud.
The normal pen.
It was pretty loud. Okay. I think that's it for today. So,
yeah.
Congratulations to everybody who won things. Thank you all so much for your support, and especially those of you that sent money along in Super Chat, and to you out there who are on Patreon. Do please check out our sponsors over at Freaky Fandoms. They are supporting us, and so your support of them helps them to continue to support us. I don't know. It's like this
Supportception.
Supportception. And there are links in the comments or in the description below that contain things like Mysterious, like Patreon, like, I don't know. There's all kinds of things down there. So go and punch those links, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. I don't know.
Be good to each other.
Be good to each other. Pet a cat. Hug a dog. And yeah, we will see all of you again next week.
Next week.
Have a good one.
See you.